Hey, I'm Bree. This year I started a new job and I'm still getting into the flow of it. Going from unemployed to employed has made scheduling stuff with friends a million times harder, but I love talking, so I'm just going to talk a bit here. And I'm already getting into a YouTuber voice, and I don't really know how to consciously stop myself, but hopefully I'll loosen up. This week I've been doing a few small things. First off, I started playing on a friend's Minecraft server. It's been a ton of fun. I never really got Minecraft in the same way a lot of other people did. I play it for a few hours whenever a friend asked me to come play it with them, basically. I was stunned when I saw my girlfriend setting up an experience farm uh, when she was on a friend's server last year. My game knowledge is basically stuck in 2010, and enchantments, I don't understand them. It's like I understand them, but like I don't get it. And then this week on my friend's Minecraft server, I made a little underground hovel and I spent about an hour and a half importing 4 or 5 sheep from a village way across the map because there were none near where my base was. Very unfortunate, but I had a really memorable experience, and I think that's what really counts. Um, on a much different note, I love to read, and my most prolific genre in the last few years has been cultivation web novels. Late last week, so basically this week, I finished reading Ergen's I Shall Seal the Heavens. I'm also reading his ongoing series, Beyond the Timescape. So it was great seeing more of his work, but my big problem is that a lot of battle fantasies, not just like cultivation novels or shonen in general, um, make this really strong main character, and nobody else in the setting can like keep up with him and like the pace of his power growth or whatever. So it's basically just enemies and the main character, and it makes a lot of the characterization and relationships feel kind of flat and underdeveloped because of how much time is just like, oh, there's a new bad guy, I gotta get strong enough to fight him, or oh, there's a bad guy who's way too strong, but due to special circumstances, I have this chance to get stronger and power up, and then everything will be good again. And then, after I spend 1,000 years, um, I will be able to achieve my goals. And it's like, dog, you have a wife and you have friends, and you are just like in space for 1,000 years, just cultivating. Grow up. I don't know if that's an uncommon take, but I do think that in a lot of cultivation novels, and I think this applies to I Shall Seal the Heavens, um, characters just get left by the wayside when they could not be. Um, but for the sake of expanding the world and expanding the scaling of power, um, it's kind of like an exponential growth thing where it's like you have to keep finding new bad guys forever, right? It's like society. You have to keep keeping up that growth. You know what I mean? And then there's also the thing where these people will live for thousands or tens of thousands of years if they cultivate enough, and then they're like, no, everything I love must be alive forever. Um, it's it's kind of a weird vibe because it's like, yeah, there are multiple immortal cultivators, but it is not really sensible when you're spending thousands of years doing your own stuff and then like, oh, all my friends are dead or old. It's like, dog, you did this. But I won't rant about that forever. I also caught up. That's a real smooth uh, transition away, but I caught up on a bunch of comics I follow also. A lot are more cultivation themed stuff, and I could say the same stuff about them. But I'm a big fan of the fantasy stuff that's like a more mixed fantasy type of setting. After how much I've just sat and stewed in cultivation web novel tropes in the last few years, it's like maybe I need to start reading more, what is it, native English fantasy novels? I don't know if there's a better way to say that. Just like stuff that is written and not translated into English. Because I'm sure there are a ton of good translated works. It's just, I need to step out of the cultivation world for a minute. I've spent 1,000 years. It's time to see my friends and wife again, you know what I mean? But as far as the comics I follow go, I want to say that Surviving the Game as a Barbarian and the Academy Extras Survival Guide are two of my current favorites. And I just love their balance of like the action and drama being really. I don't know if I would say it's like expertly done, but compared to their peers, I think it's done and they balance sort of the main character chasing stability and power with them also actually having to engage with the people around them instead of just like wholly just becoming a force all on their own that can spend 1,000 years cultivating without talking to their wife. it's one of my pet peeves, so I always have to bring that up. But these two, Surviving the Game as Barbarian and the Academy Extras Survival Guide, are pretty good, I think, about balancing the development of relationships with the development of both the main character and the plot. So I'm a big fan of them right now. The only thing is, both of them keep teasing romance plots, and the main character is like, I don't know if it's oblivious or just like uninterested, focused on other things. So it's like the characters around them are just like extremely charmed by the main characters, and the main characters are just like, I must work on my goals, and that's fine. I just wish that if any of them smoke focused the tiniest smidge more on romance, I'd be really joyous because I really like when a series is more like 90% action adventure drama and 10% romance instead of like 5% romance. I'm holding out though because even with that nitpick, they're extremely up my alley, so I'm gonna keep following them. And then I have also played a bit of two more games, not just Minecraft. I kind of put it here at the back so I wouldn't just be talking about games nonstop at the start. I played Fly Night and Halo 2 this week. Fly Night's pretty new to me and came out super recently, like I think in the last 2 weeks, maybe? And I think it's super charming. It plays kind of like it plays kind of like a Bethesda game in some ways, but then the theming and vibes are and like actual combat feels a lot more like Kingsfield. So it's like I have like the WASD movement and I can jump and I can do all that, and I have like multiple sets of gear I can switch between. I have like multiple weapons I can switch between rather, and it's I also have gear I can switch between, but I just mean like you could switch between weapons on the fly night really, and the big thing is that the vibes are sick and it makes the game just stay really memorable to me. I know I only played it a few days ago, but it's like I really don't think there are a ton of games being made in the vein of Kingsfield. I know people talk about Lunacid. That seems really cool. I haven't played it personally. I watched a friend play it a bit, and it's just like, wow, I think the vibes are so good. Even if I'm not obsessed with the gameplay, maybe I should really go back and play these sometime. Because every time I've watched somebody stream Kingsfield, it has been a wonderful time. Sometimes I'll even just throw on a Kingsfield stream or stream VOD for just background noise because I think the OSTs are wonderful. Um, but other than that, on the other hand, I did play Halo 2. Halo 2 is also wonderful. It is pretty much the most iconic game of the 2000s to most people who owned an Xbox at the time, which I know is not everyone. And it's not even the most iconic game of the 2000s for me because I am a freak and I played other stuff more. Because I didn't have an Xbox, but I would love playing it at friends' houses and that sort of thing. um, so for me, it's super nostalgic in the way where like something you barely engaged with as a kid is super nostalgic. I don't know if that's like a distinct vibe, but it is to me. Um, and I want to say it is so much better than Halo 1. Halo 2 basically steps up its game in every way. I want to say the switching between Master Chief and the Arbiter is really compelling, and it avoids some of the problems Halo 1 had, at least so far, where there's just like, oh, long hallways, and there's like four different guns you care to use on a given level. It's like the gun variety is good, the map variety is good. I think it's just everything is just a bit better in Halo 2, and some things are just way better. And I'm very happy to be playing it, and eventually I'm hoping to play Halo 3, which will be new ground for me because I only played Halo 1 and 2. And I think those are the Xbox, like original Xbox Halos. I think 3 was like a 360 game, which especially never had. um, what else do I got? Oh, yeah. I listened to one new album this week. It's only one. Um, I started this job and I can't really listen to music while I'm doing it because it would just be a pain in the ass. So I am only listening to and watching stuff in my off time, basically. And so this album is Where Myth Becomes Memory by Rollo Tomasi. It's a ton of fun, and I came to it from checking out a Sputnik user chart and going, oh, my girlfriend likes that band. And I really like the album, but I have a small gripe, and it's that I hate when the first track of an album is like a fade in track where it goes from like 0 to 100 over like the first 30 seconds of the first track. Because I like to have music on in the background while I do things, and it is such a vibe wrecker when you have to actually adjust the volume after you like tab into your music player, and then you adjust the volume and you put the album on, and then you tab back out, and then it gets way louder, and then you have to turn the volume down. um there are a few albums that do it. It's not just this Rollo Tomasi album, but that's like honestly the only thing I didn't like about this. When it comes to music, I'm definitely on the team of like, oh, if the vibe is good, I'm just gonna like it even if there is a small problem. And this album is definitely up my alley. Last thing I want to cover is my hopes for this next week. I want to get back into watching. I forget the full title. Nanoha. It's like magical shoujo, maho shoujo lyrical Nanoha. That sounds right. And so it's this 2000s battle anime where this girl like develops magic powers and has to fight um, for her friend and what she believes in and all that classic goodness. And so a while ago, I got done season 1 and 2. That was before I started this job, and I fell off it. So I need to get into season 3 and season 4, and then I'll be pretty much done with the series after that point. But I love this kind of like girl led battle series. I don't know a better way to put that, but it's basically the same kind of itch that I think Pretty Cure would be if I was more into Pretty Cure. I should probably try watching it again, but that's a whole different topic. And the second thing for this week, I just want to buy a 1440p monitor once I get my next paycheck. So the big thing is, I just love reading things and having like the window management on a 1440p monitor, not moniker, that I use as a vertical monitor. I think it adds a lot of like convenience um, to just regular stuff I do, like reading and looking at like a lot of long strip comics. Um, so I used to have one. It died, I want to say last year. I've just never gotten around to replacing it. Now that I have this job and I'm a bit more willy nilly with money, um, I'm really looking forward to it. um, and I'm just gonna go for a relatively cheap one since I am using it for just like weirdo sicko reasons and not for the actual video quality. So yeah, those are my two big personal solo goals this week. I think that's everything I have. So, if you came across this video and thought it was neat, I'm very thankful. Really happy to just talk about stuff I like. Um, I did script this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna in the future because I'm kind of bad at just reading off a script. Like right now, not doing that. Um, I don't have any interesting B-roll to put up, but depending on how I edit this, I might have some still images. Very exciting. And I might try recording B-roll another time, but it would have to be more of a conscious effort, which I did not put in before this. I decided this about an hour beforehand, and then I had to learn how to use a video editor in 2025. I haven't made anything for YouTube since like, I don't know, 2016. I think like the last time I streamed and edited stuff was like before the last time I had like a college class I needed to edit video for. So it has been a while. But yeah, this is just a small hobby project for me, and I'm glad that I'm kind of just sending it.